Are you starting to feel a little bit crap as you pass 40? Maybe you're feeling like you don't have as much energy, you maybe feel that you've got more wrinkles, or maybe you look at yourself in a photo with your family or friends and don't like what you see in the photo. You maybe then start to try avoid being in photos completely, and this can have a massive knock-on effect into every single aspect of your life. Well, the good news is I'm going to explain in this video a bunch of different ways that you can 5 times the way you feel right now. So get your notepad and pen. I want you to take down all of these notes so when you leave this video, you are ready to make yourself feel like the best version of yourself possible. And not only that, we're going to do this in a sustainable way that you can actually adhere to. No fad diets, no nutritional myths, just straight to the point, applicable information. The first thing we want to focus on is protein and fiber-rich foods. As you can probably guess, a lot of the stuff that makes us feel good and how we perform on a day-to-day basis stems from nutrition. So that's what we want to pay huge focus on here. Protein and fiber have massive roles within the body, okay? You've probably heard of protein when it comes to muscle growth and repair, and yes, that is super important because as you start to get closer to 50, muscle mass can deteriorate. So we want to make sure we are at least preserving muscle mass through having a significant increased protein-rich diet. But not only that, protein also plays a huge role in satiety. So if you have a diet that is higher in protein, you're generally going to feel fuller for longer. Fiber as well plays a huge role in keeping yourself full as well, along with, of course, aiding your digestion. But the main thing is, if we combine protein and fiber together, they're both going to work synergistically to make you feel fuller for longer, so you've got less cravings, want to snack less, and just generally feel good on a day-to-day basis. Now, because I'm a nerd, I've actually experimented with this multiple times, having a lower protein diet compared to a higher protein diet, and it is night and day the difference you notice. So I strongly suggest increase your protein a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy. You could do this from just increasing the amount of serving size you have of a protein source. So let's just say you already are eating chicken breast, which is one of the most common protein examples. You just could increase the serving size from maybe 1 chicken breast to 1.5. Or maybe you're using a more fatty meat source, something like a 20% lean beef. We could swap that for a 10% or even a 5% lean beef because it's going to be more protein dense per serving and also a bit more calorie friendly. Next up on the list, we have resistance training. Yes, resistance training. I'm not talking about just any regular exercise. I'm talking about you specifically lifting weights. Why? Well, as I mentioned before when we were chatting about protein, lifting weights plays a huge role with muscle growth and repair. Okay, and I always laugh when I say to people that we want to build muscle and preserve muscle, because when we say the phrase build muscle, I feel a lot of us start to think like a bodybuilder. We think, oh, I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. I promise you, you're not going to look like a bodybuilder. Building muscle takes time, okay, and you don't just build muscle overnight. When you start to lift weights, not only is it going to improve your body composition, you're going to be more toned, generally feel stronger, it's going to have a knock-on effect into every aspect of your life. When we simplify resistance training in a nutshell, it's essentially mimicking movements that you already do on a daily basis, because I find a lot of people sometimes are a little scared to resistance train for various reasons, and one of those reasons can be risking an injury. So let's use an example here. A lot of people worry about injuring themselves during an exercise like the deadlift. But the deadlift, in simple terms, is just picking something off the floor. Now, just because it's in a barbell form doesn't change the fact that we are picking stuff off the floor. So of course the technique is important. So when you're starting out, one of the other important things apart from just the technique is managing the load. And by managing the load, I'm referring to how much weight you are lifting. What's heavy for someone isn't going to be heavy for someone else. Strength, the weight we're lifting, it's all relative. So what you want to do is, while you're practicing this technique, make sure that the load is nice and easy for you so you can build confidence within the technique. And then over time, what we want to do is focus on progressively getting stronger. Okay, we don't just walk into the gym and start lifting 100 kilo deadlifts, right? Things take time. We want to build up gradually. We call this progressive overload. And if you follow these steps here, you're going to just feel like the best version of yourself. I strongly suggest starting with something like 2 to 3 resistance training sessions per week and just monitor the intensity levels. Go in there to have fun, and over time, as I say, gradually increase the weights that you're lifting, and you're going to feel incredible. And if you're looking for more sustainable fat loss methods, just check the description box below because we're giving away completely free fat loss trainings that have worked with over 3,000 women. The third thing I want you to write down here is making healthy eating as simple and convenient as possible. Here we are all about sustainability. If something isn't sustainable, forget it because we're not going to be able to do it in the long run. We are not looking for short-term fixes here. We are looking for simple, actionable steps that we can implement into our routine on a daily or weekly basis that's going to allow you to eat healthy so you can feel good and lose the weight that you want to lose. How do we do this? Well, here's a couple steps you can implement today. The first thing is implementing something simple in your nutrition protocol, like pre-cutting vegetables. Chop them up, put them in the fridge, have a big bowl of whatever your favorite veggies are. That way you can grab them so easily and implement them in your meals, whether you're making stuff on the go or batch cooking once or twice a week. You could also have healthy snacks like fruits, vegetables, and high protein options that are easy to grab and go. Something I absolutely love just now is Skyr yogurt. The brand I like is by a brand called Graham's, but there's plenty of other Greek yogurts you can get. And the great thing about these is I actually buy them in the little pouches, so I can just, grab it and take it away wherever I go. Generally, Skyr yogurt's going to have around 8 to 10 grams of protein per 100 grams, so a simple 150 to 200 grams serving can have up to 20 grams of protein there, which is also going to keep you fuller for way longer. So this is going to be a much healthier option you can snack on, something like a protein yogurt and a piece of fruit. Perfect. This is stuff that I literally do on a daily and weekly basis, and let me tell you, it has changed the way I think about food because I'm no longer thinking on a day-to-day, oh, what should I have for my next meal? What are the options here? And just stressing myself out for no reason. The organization here really is key. If you can get organized, it will make your life a heck of a lot more simple. The last key point I want you to write down here is the power of community. You might have heard of the phrase where we're the average of the top 5 people we spend our most time with. So let's think about that for a second. Let's use an example of an unhealthy habit like smoking. If we hang around with 5 people who smoke all the time, we're probably going to be more likely to smoke. If we hang around with 5 people who don't go to the gym, we're more likely to not go to the gym. Now let's flip that. If we hang around with 5 people who eat healthy, if we hang around with 5 people who exercise on a regular basis, that makes us much more likely to incorporate these good habits as well because we take in the energy from our environment all the time without realizing. I want you to think of one time you've been in a good mood, okay? Hopefully it's right now, but let's think of a time you're in a good mood. Now let's say you spend 30 minutes with someone who's very down, very dour, and not very positive. They're not as optimistic as you, and they're really not thinking in the way you're thinking of. Sometimes you can leave that conversation feeling a bit worse than how you initially started, and that's because energy is our most valuable currency, and energy is also infectious. So protect your energy and be careful who you give your energy to. We could flip that around as well. You might not be feeling the best one day and you speak to someone who's very positive and uplifting. Hopefully someone like myself. Let's say you're watching this video just now and you think, okay, that guy Pete has quite good energy. I like the way he's talking. I like the way it's creating like an emotional response. You can leave this video hopefully feeling a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic, because the energy that I'm giving here in this video is still infectious, and hopefully you can take some of that energy and just feel a little bit better. The point I'm making here is, and be careful what energy you allow to get into yourself. Our energy is the most valuable currency. You have to protect it. And if you're unsure of a community you could be a part of, we actually have a completely free sustainable weight loss support group. Just check the description box below and join that right now so you can make yourself on the way to sustainable weight loss by supporting yourself with a community that's achieving the same goal as you. And if you are ready to lose weight in a sustainable way, click the video that's popping up around here just now, because that is the 8 pillars of sustainable weight loss that's going to make sure that you're on track to achieving the weight loss that you really deserve. Thanks for watching and have a great day.